How you doing, guys? My name's Aaron Blackie, and I'd like to welcome you to our Judo for MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu mini course. I'm a black belt in Judo as well as BJJ, and I'm a current professional mixed martial artist fighting out of Australia.
Judo black belt, Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Hope you can find value in this mini course. It's a sample to the full comprehensive guide that we've built, covering all the gripping mechanisms, setups, throws themselves, transitionary adaptations, wrestling counters, as well as bridging techniques to get past opponents who are trying to hit you with damaging strikes. By understanding all these different areas, you'll effectively be able to use the most efficient takedown tools you have and choose where the fight takes place, as well as starting with a massive advantage when the fight moves to the floor. Lat Cross. This is a very effective grip to throw from. I reach my right hand across my opponent's back and grip on the lat. From there, I want to create a lock by pulling in so his head lines up with my own lat and pushing my elbow down. Okay, very important that I take away as much space as I can here. Excellent grip for utilizing judo throws without a gi. Kimura Grip, I take my opponent's opposite arm with my same arm. So left will be right, right will be left. From here, I turn outwards until I can see his elbow. When I see the elbow, I'm now good to reach over, under, grabbing my own wrist. From here, I need to draw the grip in nice and tight to my own body. Otherwise, my opponent has equal leverage to rotate me this way. I lock into my body, stacking the mechanical advantage in my favor. Leg lace. Again, this is a gripping mechanism that is very important when we transition to the floor. So my leg's gonna hinge at the knee and then back at the ankle, creating a lock there. This will greatly inhibit my opponent's ability to take my back after I throw him to the floor. It's the leg lace. Harai Goshi with an underhook and wrist or elbow control. Our setup structure for Harai Goshi is the underhook with our right side, the wrist control with our left arm, and again, the same side that your underhook is on, you want that lead leg forward there. So once we have those three things, we're ready to start off-balancing our opponent and executing our throw. So again, we use action-reaction, pulling around to our right is going to get our opponent to resist. As they resist, we're going to back step through, landing in the center this time. Okay, so our back step foot has landed in the center between our opponent's legs, and this has freed our other leg up to execute a sweeping motion. So all of our weight needs to be on the left leg to enable the right leg to sweep. We're off balancing our opponent in a directional forward to the right direction, as this arrow here shows, pulling up nice and high again with the wrist and underhook control, maintaining vertical alignment through our own spine. From this position, we're able to continue rotating and completing the throw. So we see here now, we sweep back, the opponent's center of mass rotating around, his base of support being removed. Sumi Gaeshi with a Lat Cross grip. Our setup structure for Sumi Gaeshi is a lat cross grip over here, so that's our right hand gripping over onto the lat with left wrist control, and the same side leg that has the lat cross grip, you want that positioned in the lead. Now it's very important that we pull into our own ribs with this lat cross grip. That's going to create a lock there. So we need a lot of isometric tension across that grip where it's going to become loose and our opponent's head may actually slip out here. So a big, tight inward lock against our own ribs is going to create a lot of pressure and control through that gripping mechanism. From here, we're going to look to actually bring our lead shin up against our opponent's inside thigh. And we'll do that by replacing our lead leg with our rear leg here. As we continue, we back step in and we drop underneath. So here we can see the right shin up against our opponent's right leg. We can see our opponent's center of mass here has been drawn over our own. Now, we really want to try and get our own center of mass as far through underneath our opponent as we can, which is going to let him rotate over in this direction. As we continue to sit back, driving over, our opponent's center of mass rolls over our own, rotating them over as the throw is completed. Sasae Tsuri Komi Ashi with a body lock. The setup structure for the Sasae is the body lock, so hands connected. It's a mechanical lock, so it's not using our muscular system which gets tied, it's using our bones. And the lead leg forward, so the same leg as our underhooking side arm, that's positioned forward. Now to off balance our opponent, we're going to create that steering wheel effect again by driving downwards with our underhook and driving upwards with our overhook. So if we imagine a wheel in the middle there, we're rotating our opponent around that wheel. So as we execute our throw now, our rear leg steps up next to our opponent's lead leg and we inhibit his base of support. So our lead leg here, up next to our opponent's, and our other leg is inhibiting his base of support. So that's like a tree branch that is going to fall over as we continue to apply rotationary forces in that steering wheel dynamic to the upper body. So as his center of mass moves, he's unable to post out, resulting in him falling over. One of the biggest obstacles judo players face when making the game work without the gi and with continuation on the floor is having them back taken after they've completed the throw. So you need to build your defense of that into your offense. That's done by ensuring we use a gripping mechanism like the ones I've outlined for the throws they're designed to use that doesn't enable my opponent to take my back on transition. So an example of that not being applied that's very common is this headlock or collar tie grip that judo players love to use because it mimics the lapel here, and then they hit a nice forward throw, only to have their opponent go straight to their back, chuck a hook in, drag them over, whatever, and be choked out. Obviously, that's not what we're after. Okay, if we're competing in MMA or BJJ or even want to be functional in a real life scenario, we can't put ourselves in that position. So our preemptive defense means our gripping mechanism stops that from happening. An underhook will stop it, an overhook will stop it. All of the grips I've outlined with the appropriate throws will stop it. So if I do the same thing with an overhook, now my partner tries to come to my back, they can't. I have the overhook, I can transition appropriately and make use of that throw. The leg lace. This is a very effective mechanical grip on the lower legs that again will stop your opponent taking your back on the floor, as well as helping you execute throws. So whichever gripping mechanism I'm using on the upper body, whenever I'm attacking this leg, Osotogari, Harai Goshi, whatever it is, if I can get this leg lace, that's ideal. What will happen is when I complete the throw, very slowly here, it stays on. It makes it very hard for my opponent to actually come up onto his knees if he tries to take my back here. So if Jordan goes, yeah, try and slide up. Very, very hard because he can't extract the bottom leg. I've used this in a fight, paired with an overhook, slowed the opponent right down, and was then able to establish proper upper body control. Cartwheeling. This transitionary adaptation is a lot like pulling short. It's ensuring that we end up in a dominant control position after our takedown. Now, unlike pulling short, this time we are going to overcommit. But as we go over to the far side, which would usually be a sweep for our opponent, we're gonna rotate 180 degrees by planting on our head. So watch very slowly. I throw, as I come down. Pulling short, I'd go here. Getting swept, I'd go all the way. I plant with my head as I go all the way. I rotate, taking control of the far side of my opponent. Rear hand direct entry. This is my favorite entry, in my opinion, the most effective way to get to the clinch. So we're gonna throw a right cross. Dangerous punch, opponent has to deal with it in some way. Commit to it. As we throw it, our rear leg is going to step all the way through, covering a lot of distance. Punch and clutch, this technique is commonly called. From here, I'm going to dig with my elbow first underneath, establishing the clinch. Very, very effective way at covering a lot of space safely. Again, from here, we're ready to get our opponent moving. He might step off, I can attack, look for whatever I want. Reactive level change entry. So in this scenario, our opponent is attacking us with punches, strikes to the head, okay? We're gonna use a level change to get underneath, and much like our proactive entry, we're gonna then attack single or double leg, get in control, and climbing up to the clinch. So my opponent comes forward, maybe I've caught him in trouble, level change, close the distance, climb back up into the clinch. Countering the single leg is an Uchi Mata. So in this scenario, my opponent is driving forward on a single leg. I'm going to use his attack to intercept it and turn it into an Uchi Mata attack. So again, we're up, opponent attacks, he shoots his single, very nice. Instead of a typical wrestling kind of defense, I'm going to go with it, drive up my overhook, capture the elbow, and execute my normal Uchi Mata. So again, from here, Jordan starts driving, go with it, catch, and flick him off. Utilizing your opponent's pushing wrestling style of lower level shot to set up your own throw. Countering the rear body lock with the Kimura. So in this situation, we've stuffed up, our opponent's got our back, okay? Now, ideally, we'll seek to peel, hand fight, come back in. But in the situation where they're very strong, and we're seeing that in contemporary MMA by some of these Eastern Europeans and guys that have been body locked the whole life, they can't break the grip. So we're gonna extend like we are, doing our hips in, sink in, giving us space to get that hand through. Now from here, we're gonna use our whole body weight to create a lot of leverage and break that grip while executing a Sumi Gaeshi takedown with that Kimura. Okay, so I'm gonna drop underneath, create a T with my body, and break that grip. Thanks for checking out our Judo for MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu mini course. I hope you found value in learning the different techniques and tactics required to make these efficient takedown tools effective in other combat scenarios. This is only the tip of the iceberg. We've put together the most comprehensive course on judo throws for MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that's ever been created. If you want to truly understand the intricacies of no-gi throws in a wider context of combat, click the link below to gain access to this course.